All right, we have shown you the new Taylor Legacy collection before and the 810s that came with it. Great guitar. We're excited about that. These are not those. These are prototypes that we have been sent to try out. We're excited to show you these guitars. They're incredible. We'll tell you all about what's going on, so stick around. Hey, you're watching Alamo Music TV. My name is Chris McKee.
And I'm Cooper Greenberg.
We're here with Alamo Music Center in San Antonio, Texas. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, turn on notifications, like our videos. If you want to support the channel, visit our spring store link below. For custom swag, and check out our podcast, the Fretboard Confessional, wherever you get your podcasts at. So recently, Cooper made the trek to California. Wasn't able to go. Sadness. But you had a great time.
Great time.
One of those moments was spending some time with Bob Taylor. So stay tuned to this channel. If you're not subscribed, you shot some really cool footage with Bob and Andy. Follow up on some things that we got to talk to them about on our previous trip. But this, I'd actually like you to talk about.
Yeah.
Not listening to Bob. You should always listen to Bob.
Gotta listen
Just
to Bob.
when Bob talks, listen. Because, one of the things that's really cool is I think Bob Taylor both of those guys really love guitars. And Bob has said several times that one of the things he loves about guitar builders is that they're always just trying to solve a problem. And he's no exception. And so they're always kind of tinkering with stuff. And this is an interesting thing because now they're tinkering with history in a way.
Yeah.
These Legacy Collection guitars came out to be something harkened to the past, but it's in his DNA. And so there's changes going on with these guitars.
Yeah, very cool changes. Now, we do have a bit of a longer interview kind of thing coming, and also part of this is intentional vagueness of what's going on internally in these guitars. But let's talk about it for a second because...
Well, so first, you had an opportunity to see these guitars when you were out there.
Yes.
But you didn't see these guitars when you were out there.
I saw two of these, and then we got a third one. So we had a Taylor event at our store last night. J.R. Robinson came through. He drove from San Diego to San Antonio because...
So he could deliver these.
Yeah, Bob Taylor sent him with the two that I got to see at the factory and one bonus round so we could shoot this video.
We could make that really epic.
Yeah.
Bob sent the Herald JR out with the items for the Liege.
Tesseract.
Yes, and he traversed through the desert and the mountains in order to reach us.
I mean, this guy, these guitars have traveled a long way to be here. There is one across-the-board change on the Dreadnought that we do talk about that in that interview, but the depth of this guitar and the taper of this guitar has changed a little bit. So... it will be worth it to wait for the interview to where he describes kind of some of the in-between stuff that he tried. But this is a deeper body Dreadnought compared to what is currently in the Legacy series. And it does add body. It adds a certain kind of, extra push, a little extra bass. It's just a nice sound. And so what I have here is the 810 Legacy as it is currently in the collection with the same bracing and all that, just with the new taper. Very cool guitar. I think improves the sound of the guitar. This is what I was met with the very first thing in the factory. This was in JR's office. He said, try this out. And I know they've been kind of showing this to some people, getting their thoughts. I think everybody sort of agrees this is an improvement. But it's Bob Taylor, so he is in the lab trying out different stuff internally as well. So we have the new taper on 3 810E Legacies with 3 different bracing patterns. And they're all like very distinct voices.
Yes.
It's really, really cool. And so partially why we have all 3 here is so we can, in a blind format, play the same thing on all 3, and y'all can hear them and kind of vote for what you like best, because I think they're interested in knowing what people think about all 3.
What's really cool about it is you don't know what the bracing is, and they're all really the same guitar otherwise. Mm-hmm. They're the same depth, they're the same tone woods, it's the same builder, but it speaks to how you can make adjustments to the sonic engine of the guitar in the bracing in order to evoke different responses on how you want it to go. And since you as the audience have no idea really what's going on in here, there's no preconceived notions.
Yeah.
You don't have any preferences. There's no brand preference or model preference or historical preference. It's like these are different, and you get to say, "Oh, I like that one," and you have no idea what that means.
Yeah.
As far as what that bracing pattern is, but it's pretty cool.
So I'd recommend get some good speakers, get some headphones,
Get some popcorn.
popcorn. I'm going to timestamp it so you can go back and forth between all 3 demos. It's just going to be 1, 2, and 3. Feel free to guess what the changes are. Feel free to guess which one is the current legacy bracing versus the other 2. I'm very excited about this, and I think it's going to open up a lot of possibilities in the Dreadnought build in Taylor.
And I will tell you, Cooper got to experience these long before I did, and had more of an explanation of what's going on. I came into this like you have come into this, really kind of blind, and just strummed each one without knowing what was what, and then was like, whoa, because you can hear the differences. And so I think it's a fun way to experience the guitar. I think it'll be fun for you guys. So check it out. All right, there you have it. You've heard them all. Lock in those votes. You know, be on the up and up. Okay, go ahead and put in the comments below. Don't try to glean anything after the fact. You know your mind. You know what you like. Go back and listen to it again if you need to. I think my favorite's the 810.
Yeah, I love the 810. Really impressed though what they did on the 810.
Yeah, well, and then that other 810.
They've all got their place. So, one thing Bob mentioned in the forthcoming, longer talk that I had with him is if I ever tried to build a Martin, it'd sound like a Taylor. He said that before. He's like, if I ever tried to build a Gibson, it'd sound like a Taylor. He's got a sound. He's the guy behind it, right? So what I think that they're doing here is giving options because most people that are going to be playing this are going to be playing it against an HD28, some sort of Gibson Dread. They might be playing a 35, but it goes amongst the heralded legacy spruce rosewood Dreadnoughts. And what I think he's doing is trying to give different flavors because all of these guitars sound a little bit different. They've all got the same sort of profile.
Yeah.
But if he were to build exact spec an HD28, it wouldn't be an HD28. It'd be a Taylor
guitar.
So I do think all these sound very different. I have my favorite. And I'm not going to say it until later because what I would like to do is redo what we did. Bob mentioned that he watched our video where you compared the HD28 and the 810.
Oh, yeah?
And he liked it. And I think part of the intention here was try it again with this one, see what you think. Which, what a cool punk rock attitude. I think it changes things. I think the new taper changes things one step, and then different bracing options, go in different directions. But you could compare this to an HD28. You compare it to an advanced jumbo, or a hummingbird rosewood, something like that. And all three of these, I think, would appeal to a slightly different player. But I do think it's time that people get and try an 810 because they're very cool guitars, and each of these just has different spices.
What I love, there's a few things that I love. One, I loved when the 810 came back because I like a classic square shoulder Dreadnought just as much as the next guy. And we had both missed them from the Taylor lineup. We kind of talked about that ad nauseum. So I was very glad to see that return. I love to see, Bob Taylor and Skunkworks Lab, doing stuff. He and Andy, they should, the fact that, guys at Taylor Marketing, you haven't just leaned into it like mad scientists and have them in lab coats or something. I'm just saying that's who these guys are at the end of it. It's just sawdust instead of chemistry. Yeah. And I'm a big fan of the deep bodies. I think you've played it at the Martin factory. They have that old, pre-war D28, or maybe it's a 45 with Brazilian and Addy, and it's a deep body, one of 12 made. And that guitar is different than just about any other old pre-war I've ever played. Yeah. There's something about it. And I'll say this, I'm just going to put this out in the ether since, Bob watches our channel. I have in one of those old red Taylor catalogs from the late 90s, a piece of notebook paper with handwritten down ideas for a custom guitar. And it was effectively like a 712 cedar and rosewood deep body. Putting that out into the universe.
There we go.
So I I really like the idea of what it does to the resonance of a guitar when you just, and this is what was going on with the Grand Orchestra when they came out with that. It's 5 inches deep. It adds to what's going on in that kind of size body. So this is fantastic. I also think there's something going on in music right now where there is a particular sect of guitar players that are really embracing, in all genres of music, kind of an older style instrument.
Yeah.
And so I think that's another reason to have these square shoulders kind of back.
He talked so much about that. there's genres are changing, and people are into roots music and folk music and bluegrass, and there's new guitar heroes in those genres. So it's coming along at the right time, for sure.
I'd love to hear these with mahogany.
Me too.
So, very cool. Let us know what you thought, and then there's going to be more to come with these very cool prototypes. More from us. We're going to be doing comparisons.
Yep.
But, just be on the lookout for what's coming down the road. Pretty exciting stuff. Let us know what you think, and let us know what you'd like to see. You never know what they might be coming up with next at Taylor Guitars. So
A lot of good stuff coming. Tell you all about it.
If you are interested in Taylor Guitars or anything from Taylor and Martin or many of the other wonderful guitar manufacturers that we carry, you can go to our website, which is
alamomusic.com.
It's a good job. And what should they do, Cooper?
You're going to want to go to the website. And then, but also subscribe and turn your notifications on, like, comment, vote.
Vote.
All that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends. Tell your family. Post it on Reddit. We'll see you next time.